Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. On this video, we've got a great story from Relationship Advice with an update, and one from Am I the A-hole. So if you want to get started with the stories, then just use the timestamps below the video. Now I'd like to give a big thank you to all of you that support me in so many different ways, like being YouTube members or Twitch subscribers or even donating during the live streams. Thanks a lot for your support, it really helps out and means a lot to me. And if this is the first time watching one of my videos and you like it, then consider subscribing to the channel and joining us on Discord. Now let's get started with today's stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice, and it's from the user To See You Low. I, 23 female, got revenge on my brother, 23 male, and now he's trying to make me feel bad about it. My brother, we're twins, is so mean. He's constantly doing messed up stuff to me. But the worst thing happened 5 years ago. I got my first boyfriend when I was 18 and a senior in high school. I know we were young, but I really loved him. We'd been dating for 10 months when my brother randomly decided, for literally no reason at all, to make up a story about how he caught me cheating and tell it to my boyfriend. He planned it all out. He came up with details. He made it sound real. And because he's such a scarily good liar and a master manipulator, my boyfriend believed him. No matter what I said or did to prove it wasn't true, he believed my brother over me. My brother kept up with his act the entire time and refused to admit he was lying. At one point, I thought I'd finally gotten my boyfriend to believe me, but then he broke up with me a few months later and confessed it was because he was still convinced I'd cheated on him and he couldn't move past it. He said, "The worst part is that you won't just tell me the truth." And not to sound dramatic, but that still haunts me. I want to cry every time I think about it, and I still miss him to this day. I never got over what my brother did, and I always told myself I was gonna do the exact same thing to him one day. He's dated several girls since high school, but he'd never been serious enough about any of them for me to consider tricking them. I knew it wouldn't hurt him like he hurt me if I just tricked one of his flings or something. But he finally got his first serious girlfriend last year, and after thinking about it for a long time, I decided I was gonna do it. We live in different places now, so I had to do it all online. I used a different method than he did. I contacted his girlfriend pretending to be the girl he'd been cheating with. I made up an elaborate, detailed story like he did to me, and even photoshopped proof and stuff. I made my story even more believable than he made his. And exactly like he did to me, I went as far as denying it even to him because I knew he might use my texts or calls to prove to his girlfriend that it isn't true. He knows I'm behind it though, solely because he didn't cheat and there's no one else that would do this. But I keep denying it. It's been like a week now. His girlfriend wholeheartedly believes me, and my brother keeps calling and texting me, begging me to give it up, even though I still haven't admitted it's me. He's manipulating me and arguing that it's different because I was younger when he did it to me, and my relationship wasn't serious. But my relationship was serious, and like I said, I still miss my ex. My brother really messed me up. Also, I think it's important to note that my brother has never once apologized for what he did. He's so insanely mean that he just thinks it's funny. I even asked him once if he'd consider hitting my ex up and telling him the truth for my peace of mind, and he just laughed at me. I have empathy though, he doesn't, and I'm kind of starting to feel bad. Half of me thinks I'm just being manipulated by him like always, and I need to stick to my plan. But the other half is starting to regret this and think that maybe I should tell his girlfriend the truth. Should I feel bad? And should I tell her the truth? OP, this is a tough situation for you to be in because you have empathy and your brother doesn't, so he really doesn't care that he hurt you. In this case, there are two victims, you of course, and your brother's girlfriend. However, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't say anything to anyone. Because if your plan works and your brother's girlfriend breaks up with him, she is going to be better off without that sociopath in her life. We're talking about a person here who decided to blow up your relationship, mess you up for 5 years because he was having fun? This might sound petty, but if you are the type of person who enjoys ruining other people's lives, then you get what you have coming. In this case, OP, I'd say power through the empathy and do not admit anything to anyone, especially your brother, because you know he will escalate if he finds out the truth. He might even do it regardless, so I would keep an eye out for that crazy effort. And what do you guys think? What would you suggest OP should do? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they had to say, and then we will move on with the update. Sirius says, here's your way out. You make a deal. Your brother contacts your ex in front of you and tells him the truth so you can have closure on that. You stop this and explain to the girl why it happened. Both of you look like crappy people to her. She'll probably break up with him anyway. Hopefully, both of you are scarred enough that you tone down the pranks and revenge pranks in the future. Blue Daddy 69 says, deny till you die, baby. Big Yeeta 6 says, I'd honestly have cut contact with him if it was my brother and he did that just to mess with me. In my eyes, I'd be an only child from that point on, and I'd tell anyone I meet that asked if I had siblings that he passed away on that day. Your brother is toxic, and as an effect has turned you into a toxic person too. Neither one of you cares about the feelings of either's partners at their respective time. There's not even a mention of how your ex must have felt or how your brother's girlfriend feels now. You don't care, and neither does he. You only care a little about how your brother feels. Reevaluate if you want someone like this in your life. When you get married and have kids, if that's what you want, then you will have to live in constant fear that he will get you back and break up your family for a joke. This is serious. Well, we've got 3 different perspectives in the comment section. I do like the plan to get out of this one like the first commenter suggested. However, I don't agree with the first commenter calling this a prank. These are not pranks. In any case, we've got a really interesting update. So stick with me and let's continue with that. So, me and his girlfriend have sent a few more direct messages back and forth. She's still under the impression that I'm some random girl my brother cheated with, obviously. And she asked me a question which led to her admitting that she's been suspicious of him for a long time. I pried a little bit and encouraged her to look through his phone, but she told me she couldn't because she didn't know the passcode and he wouldn't give her access to it. But then I guessed a few passcodes I thought it could be and gave them to her under the guise of seeing it once, but I wasn't sure which one I'd seen. That was kind of dumb, but I couldn't think of anything else to say and she didn't question it. She got in because it ended up being the same one he's had since 2012, when our dad got us iPhones and made us use the same passcode. Idiot. Anyway, lo and behold, he's been talking to and hooking up with multiple girls for pretty much the entirety of their relationship. I'm not surprised because he's a terrible person and cheating seems right up his alley, but I'm shocked at the same time. I literally can't believe things worked out this perfectly. It feels like a dream or something. The universe loves me. I hate to revel in his girlfriend's misery, but I was feeling guilty about her being collateral damage. I know I didn't say it in the original post, but I assumed it was implied. So I feel like this is the best possible outcome. My lie ended up being the truth. Well, not exactly, but you know what I mean. So I didn't scar his girlfriend or leave her with permanent damage for no reason. All my interference did was speed up the process of the truth coming to light. In fact, my brother may have been able to hide his cheating forever if not for me. He probably would have just manipulated his girlfriend and or refused to give her phone access forever. Also, I love how all the top comments on my post were calling my brother a sociopath, because he totally is, but I didn't want to say anything. I've spent years being told I'm just dramatic when I accuse him of being a sociopath, so I feel very seen now, even if it's just from a bunch of strangers. I'm still not going to admit to my brother that I set him up, because there's no point. That would just get me in deeper trouble. My favorite comment was the one that said, "Deny till you die, baby," because that's exactly what I'm planning to do. Lol, life's crazy. OP's edit. I forgot to mention that his girlfriend hasn't broken up with him, and I'm honestly not sure if she will. I don't know how relevant that is, but it attests to how manipulative he is. He screws people over all the time, but somehow always gets his way anyway. It's honestly infuriating and scary. And there you have it. That's all the information we've got. I do believe that OP got lucky that her brother was actually cheating, and she did help out the girlfriend now. Hopefully she does break up with him and doesn't let herself get manipulated by this guy, but apparently she is allowing that. And now we move on with the next post. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's from user Throwaway7812. Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend's friends I'd rather not vacation with them and that they are gluttonous? I, 23 female, have been with my boyfriend, 28 male, for 4 years now. For context, these friends were friends with boyfriend for years before he met me. Over the years, they have become my friends as well, as we're all part of the same circle now, about 14 people. For obvious reasons, I'm not as close with them as my spouse is. Now, here's where it all starts. Back in February 2019, my boyfriend and I decided to spend a weekend at Disneyland. It was originally going to be just us two, but he had asked if I would be okay if he invited some friends. About 6 out of the 14. Of this 6, 4 were guys and 2 were women, and they were girlfriends of 2 of the guys. These 4 guys are my boyfriend's closest friends in the group. I agreed since I thought that it would be fun, but I was wrong. They, referring to the 4 guys, didn't want to go on any rides or see any of the shows. They only wanted to eat at the various Disney restaurants. To be frank, I don't care much for eating theme park food, as tasty as it may be. The food is overpriced and I just don't feel comfortable eating so much fattening food. The other women in the group didn't care much for the food either, but they sat along while their partners ate. This would have been fine if they let my boyfriend and I go off and enjoy ourselves, but they guilted him into not leaving them behind. We want to ride X ride together. I did not enjoy my Disney weekend very much. Fast forward to this past weekend. The original Disney 6 were at our place. My boyfriend brought up that we're planning a little getaway near the end of the summer. One of the guys said he'd love to join us, and the others followed. Before I could say, actually, it's just a couple's getaway for the 2 of us, my boyfriend said, sure, sounds great. I paused and then said to the group, to be honest, I would prefer if you all didn't come. My boyfriend's closest friend asked why I didn't want them to come, and I said, I just think we have different holiday priorities, as evidenced by Disney. He then followed up with, oh, you didn't have fun at Disney? I said, no. Being gluttonous is not how I want to spend a vacation. It's okay if you do, but it's clear we're just not compatible to holiday anymore. The rest of the night was awkward and quiet. After they left, my boyfriend said I was being a diva and out of line. So on this one, I'm torn between you're the a-hole and everybody sucks between you and your boyfriend. However, I am more inclined to call you the a-hole, and here's my reasoning. Regardless of what your boyfriend said, if you thought this was a couple's getaway, you should have made that clear with your boyfriend from the beginning. And even if you didn't, you had the chance to tell them right there that you were hoping that this would be a couple's getaway because you need some quiet time with your boyfriend after all this craziness or whatever. But you decided this would be the perfect time to throw in their face that you did not enjoy your Disney vacation because of them. And to me, that makes you the a-hole because it was unwarranted. I don't know if you ever spoke to your boyfriend about not enjoying that particular vacation because his friends were making him eat food all the time instead of going on the rides with you, but did you really need to say it? I feel that makes you the a-hole because you were being deliberately mean. Now, the only reason why I would think your boyfriend sucks is because he said sure, sounds great when his friends asked to tag along without clearing it with you first. Not that he has to ask permission or anything like that, but I believe this is a couple's decision because it's a couple's holiday. What do you guys think? Let me know what your judgment is in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community judgment and see what they had to say. Fleet Dancer says, you're the a-hole. How to keep friends. I want this to be a romantic getaway for just the two of us, but we should all hang out again soon. How to lose friends? F no, I don't want to vacation with you lazy fat butts. Yuck. Guess which one you picked? The Judgy Witch says, everybody sucks here. I think his friends inviting themselves on your holiday is quite rude. Your boyfriend sucks for accepting their self-invite on your behalf without discussion. You suck for having no tact. You should have spoken to your boyfriend later and asked him to contact his friends to say it was a couple's trip. You made it awkward, and saying we're just not compatible to holiday anymore feels a bit final. But you got what they wanted, as they probably won't wish to holiday as a group again. I think you should apologize. Delusion 2021 says, yeah, you're the a-hole. It's called tact. And you could have worded it better, saying you wanted to get away with just your boyfriend, not essentially calling the friends fat, simply for enjoying food as part of their experience on vacation. Well, apparently the community is just as torn as I am between you're the a-hole and everybody sucks. Although I have to say I did leave out the friends, and I correct myself, the friends, like the second commenter said, were rude to invite themselves on the holiday. But I'm still torn between you're the a-hole and everybody sucks. I still feel that OP was the biggest a-hole of all of them. However, the boyfriend and the friends also suck as well. And now let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Today I F'd Up, and it's from user Hazinator22341. Today I F'd up by being unable to follow through on my successful pickup line. So I was on a first date with this really cute guy. We had drinks at a local bar one night and wandered back to mine. After offering a glass of wine and settling in, I threw out what I hoped would be a winning line. Oh, would you like to stay for breakfast? Now, it totally worked, and he was rather charmed by the cutesy phrase, and a wonderful night was had by all. Now, in the morning, he awakes and asks what's for breakfast. Now, I have the most depressing bachelor's fridge ever, barren with the odd beer, bottle, or takeaways. I hadn't thought to follow through with that line. I had to shamefully admit this, and although he laughed it off, I knew in his heart he wanted a full English breakfast, or at least some over easy eggs. Lesson for today? Always be able to put together a hot breakfast. You never know. Well, OP, I think you might want to take a look at this as a glass half full thing. The line worked. Now you just gotta make sure that next time you use it, well, you actually do have food in your fridge to make breakfast. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing, and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.